I picked Joseph Parker to beat Zhilei Zhang on points, and now that he's done it, I want to talk about what this does for his legacy, because Joseph Parker has one of the greatest resumes in all of heavyweight boxing for this current era. So again, I'm not talking about historical all-time great status, I'm talking about this era of heavyweights. Joseph Parker has a resume better than most, and a lot of heavyweights were talked about more than him because they're trash talkers, they have big personalities, they're very charismatic, etc. They do not have resumes nearly as good as him, and I've been saying for years that Joseph Parker has not received the credit he's deserved, even here in New Zealand by a lot of people. I can say that from experience, for the kind of risks he's taken on at a certain time. Because I said at the end of 2016, so this was before Anthony Joshua beat Vladimir Klitschko, that Joseph Parker had a better resume than both Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. People in my own hometown were saying to me, you must be on some serious stuff. And I said, no. Carlos Takam and Andy Ruiz, both in the same year, one in December, one in May of 2016. That's better than anything Joshua and Wilder have done. I was like, you're going to tell me Bermane Stiverne is better than Ruiz? You're going to tell me Stiverne is better than Carlos Takam? You're going to tell me that Charles Martin is better than Andy Ruiz? No way. So, yeah, people dismiss that. And I remember after Joseph Parker beat Andy Ruiz, I was watching it in my local bar, and I scored it for Joseph Parker either 7-5 or 8-4, I don't know, but I had it scored for him. I went to bed that night, woke up, and after going to the gym, I went to, again, another bar, which is local to me, went to the bakery, went to the dairy and stuff, and I was asking people, hey, what do you think of Joseph Parker's fight? And every single one of them rubbished it and said, oh, that was BS. Joseph Parker clearly lost. It was a hometown decision. I was like, whoa. It's like people didn't want to give this guy credit. And it didn't change after he lost to Anthony Joshua in a fight where the referee was extremely terrible. I mean, awful refereeing that night. And Joseph Parker may have lost anyway, but people were saying, see, Joseph Parker's rubbish compared to Joshua. I had workmates who were saying, hey, Anthony Joshua's the real deal, Joseph Parker's just a bum. I was like, what are you talking about? And then when he lost to Dillian Whyte in a fight which I felt should have been a draw because a 10-8 round for Dillian Whyte in the second was ruled that because of a head clash where Joseph Parker went down. If it had been ruled correctly, all judges would have given it 10-9 to Parker and it would have been a draw. So people ignored that. Then, after he looked poor against Junior Farr and Derek Chisora the first time back-to-back, I started thinking Joseph Parker might be done at top level. But he looks great in the rematch, and I thought he would beat Joe Joyce. Then he gets hammered, and people thought, okay, this guy must be done. He'd just been stopped for the first time in his career. First time his face looked really hurt, damaged afterwards. They thought, he's not coming back from that. And where is he at now? He just beat Deontay Wilder and Zhilei Zhang, arguably the two biggest knockout artists in boxing right now, back-to-back, within 3 months. I mean, we have to give Joseph Parker massive credit for what he has achieved. And this is better, like I said, than most heavyweights in this post-Klitschko era. I can say that without hesitation. It is better than a lot of people who are talked about way more than Joseph Parker. Better than Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder, I'm showing his resume on screen right now. You can see the first win over Bermane Stiverne. We can put Johan Dupar and Artur Spilka in there. We can put the 2 wins over Luis Ortiz and Dominic Brazil in there. And Robert Helenius was just a fight for him to come back to and look good. That's it. Dillian Whyte, I'm showing his resume on screen at the moment. Jermaine Franklin, okay contender. Alexander Povetkin, past his best, but still dangerous, much like Deontay Wilder. You can say Oscar Rivas, 2 wins over Chisora. Joseph Parker, again, should have been a draw. Lucas Brown and Dave Allen, they were undefeated. Then we got the rest of the big-name heavyweights of this era. Andy Ruiz, aside from beating Anthony Joshua twice, he's struggled with old men in Luis Ortiz and Chris Areola, and he beat Joe Hanks many years ago, and he beat Dimitrenko before that. Dimitrenko had been knocked out by Brian Jennings, and Joseph Parker knocked him out before those guys did. So that's Andy Ruiz's resume, incredibly overhyped. Luis Ortiz, I mean, who's this guy beaten aside from Brian Jennings? And then Joe Joyce, again, wins over Joseph Parker, wins over Daniel Dubois, also beat Bermain Stavern, who was ancient at that time, and he also beat Carlos Takam, but years after he lost to Anthony Joshua and Joseph Parker. So again, these heavyweights that I'm just mentioning, they clearly don't have as good of a resume as Parker. The best two are Deontay Wilder and Dillian Whyte, and Joseph Parker has surpassed both of them. His best wins are Zhilei Zhang, who, again, was top 5, no question. Everybody had him ranked in the top 5. Deontay Wilder, again, passes best like Povetkin. 2 wins over Chisora. Junior Farr, who was undefeated. Hughie Fury, undefeated. Andy Ruiz, before he went to become a big star with his win over Joshua. And he beat Carlos Takam. So, yeah, Joseph Parker, his resume is excellent. I mean, so many people didn't think he was going to get here. I questioned whether he was going to get here. I thought he was going to be one of the better heavyweights of this era years ago when he was heavyweight champion the first time. And he's always been a guy who has to do more for less credit than most other boxers who are talked about more than him because they're big talkers, etc. And he's clawed his way back the hard way. I mean, when it comes to taking on the best back-to-back, his resume is better than Tyson Fury's because Tyson Fury's resume is more stacked when it comes to turning down fights and ducking fights. And I've been saying this for years before he ducked Alexander Usyk. I've been saying for 10 years since I saw him duck David Price many years ago that, yeah, his resume is better at that than it is when it comes to taking on all-comers. Anthony Joshua has taken on all-comers and he's received massive credit for that, so he's ahead of Parker. Fury, in my opinion, is not that far ahead of Parker. It's only because of the Klitschko win. And then you've got Alexander Usyk. Joseph Parker's resume is excellent, and he really is everything that we want in boxing. Aside from the self-promotion, not amazing at that, but if boxers or any fighter, MMA, etc., doesn't have it in them, I don't care. I want to see the best fight the best. And he gives us that. He's always comes to fight. He shows true character. He fights back when he has to fight from behind. He's got a lot of heart, doesn't duck anybody, fights the best back to back, never complains, never has any trouble with the law, and if he needs to take a pay cut to stay active, he'll do that because he's that dedicated to the craft. That is the kind of guy I want in this sport, and I'm so happy he is continuing to box. So let me know what you guys think down below about everything I've said, and do you agree? Catch you guys later. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more.